Da, 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 da. All right. Oh yeah. Need to move the mic a little bit because it's in front of the screen. Hey everyone. So yeah, we're going to finish hopefully another gatehouse besides this one. Didn't have a mouse. Now I have a mouse. Yay. But yeah, so gatehouse, probably going to do, well, probably this gatehouse, just so that we can basically finish this entire area after I've done that gatehouse. Then it's that gatehouse afterwards, although I don't know if that's going to be in today's stream, and then that gatehouse. And that's actually pretty much it. Because, well, we of course have few bridges because I don't build bridges unless I'm forced to. That's just, whenever you see a bridge, it's usually built on stream or on video. Oh, and this time I can show you guys the inside of the Sultan's Palace, aka Hagia Sophia, because, well, I've done some work in there. Still trying to figure out how to get a habitat in there. But I'm going to manage. Hopefully. Anyway, so making another gatehouse. So hope you guys had a lovely day today. And also I'm probably going to stream a little bit longer today because it's sort of officially summer holidays here, so I don't really have to go anywhere tomorrow. Which means longer stream. Or a longer stream time at least. I hope this is the right color. Nope, it isn't. I'm so strong. I probably couldn't punch a dent into a package of butter. But before I forget, hey Chris, hey, I'm going to say Kuan, just because, well, it's Kuan Shiyin. Shiyin? But is it okay if I just call you Kuan? And also, hey Nosa and Emma. But yeah, again, I probably can't punch like a dent in a just package of butter. Also, I might be getting it wrong, but just because, well, I'm a squirrel, so it's, well, there's not really, how can I say this? Let's just say you can't really put a pointer on where my thoughts are going. But Kuon, or it sounds a lot like it, but in Indonesian that means friend. Yeah, I took a course of Indonesian for 3 months, and that's, well, I can understand Indonesian, I can't speak it. So that's my extent of Indonesian knowledge. I think it's better to start up, which is weird because if the Hagia Sophia is taught me one thing, it's to not start from the top, but for a gatehouse it's sometimes better to start at the top. And I can't deselect these things. So nice. This is. I'm going to try it again. Kuan Shi Yin is Chinese god, the only female god. That's actually quite amazing. I have zero knowledge of Chinese mythology and Chinese religions because, well, I'm mainly a lover of, well, the Greek Helen and let's just say Greek mythology. That's a lot easier to say. But I should learn probably a little bit more about like other religions, mythologies, everything. Although Kayan al-Bashar has made me learn a lot about Islamic architecture. Has Indonesian also the Latin alphabet? Yes. Or at least that's the way I learned it. But also, hey, I'm slow. I'm still, whenever I see you, thinking of the beer. Which, funnily enough, I also have. I don't know if it's the first time, but I've drank Amstel beer this past weekend, so now it's full circle. Like, with some of your guys' names, I just really have like this preset idea of like, oh, this reminds me of that, or this reminds me of that. I want this to be like a Byzantine architecture, which means an actual solid round thing here. She's the god of compassion and mercy. See her the sadness of the world. That actually... No, actually it's quite common that like female gods or goddesses are usually also like, they're usually like the goddesses of like family or beauty and such. Or, I mean, in this case, like compassion. I'm really curious what would have happened if instead of, well, basically, oh, yes, you guys aren't seeing that notification. But what if women, like, were the, like, hunters, were basically what would have happened if society didn't evolve to be, like, patriarchal, something along those lines. Again, squirrel, so I have no idea how to speak, but I'm always wondering, would it just happen that, well, would women just then be basically the same as men are today, or... And yes, I don't even know how long in the stream, but because I don't have a timer anymore, but I'm already going to hit you guys with philosophical questions. Because that's what I like to do. Come on, select everything. So, not 15 minutes yet. Well, it's 15. It's barely, of not yet 15 minutes, and I'm already asking a philosophical question. So, are you from India? Nope. Completely born in the Netherlands. Actually, no, I'm going to keep that story for later. Because it's a fun story. So you can kind of put me in the same, well, boat, in a way, as like the lady designer and such, well, and Silverette, when it comes to nationality. Probably with less purity culture, because for a female it's not important how many offspring the male has outside of the partnership, as long as he only invests his resources into her offspring. Yeah. I always found it... Well, when it comes to like royalty, it's kind of more understandable because there's like a whole thing with like inheritance, but I never got really why there's like so much to do when it comes to like virginity and such, because women don't have built-in virginity detectors. And it doesn't really do anything. Or at least I don't think it really does anything. I like that. Kayan al-Bashar looks so... I don't know how to actually describe it. It just looks so... From the underside, it looks a little bit strange because everything is floating. I mean, it looks pretty, but also kind of strange. Oh, wait. These have to be turned. Because if people like drop stones from, well, then I should remove this, but I don't want there to be any like holes in the building. But if defenders drop stones from that extension, you don't want to just harm your own gate. Also, thank you, the Jester, for following. Hope you all have a nice day here. With a rambling squirrel. It's a man-made world, and I think our gods are aliens. Will the next season of Kayan al-Bashar still be floating? I don't know. I mean, we all know that the city is going to be floating. That was a huge part of it. But the next season of Kayan al-Bashar isn't the city. It's the mystery season. So maybe it will, maybe it won't. We shall see. Although I think there's a little bit of a tip in like the first habitat in the next season is probably going to be the elephants. So there might be a little bit of a tip in there. Also, yeah, let's just immediately state this, but staff really dislike Kayan al-Bashar, so I should really fix that. Because there's no place for them to really go. So maybe the next stream, instead of like constantly making gatehouses, I should build some staff buildings. Maybe. I should probably also watch a lot less Shadiversity just so that I don't constantly build castles. But I read something and then I somewhat ignored it immediately, but it's a man-made world and I think our gods are aliens. Yeah, in a way actually, because I think in every religion the gods are on like this other plane of existence, or gods. So in a way they are aliens. Though I don't believe like, oh, the aliens built the pyramids. No, probably not. I mean, like such theories always made me think like, yeah, and what do they get to gain of it? Hey Giorgio, how are you doing today? We're just finishing this gatehouse off, which actually went by surprisingly fast. Though I think we need some extra detailing on the top part of it. Do you believe in something? I believe that there's something, whoever that is. So, do I believe that there is something as like a god? Yes, but I have no idea what it is or who it is. And I also don't know anymore if it's like still like active in our world or something. So best way to describe it is to say I believe that there's something, but besides that I have yet to feel like any kind of like affinity for any kind of religion. I'm open to it though. But besides, well, of course, feeling that, well, let's just, this doesn't, oops. Hey Kane, so this is probably, yep, different color. Great. So everything I just placed is the wrong color. Luckily it's only deselecting grid pieces. Most of it is, well, these brick pillars. But yeah, besides religion, of course, being, how can you say this, but besides believing in religion, I do think there's like benefits of religion. Even though I don't really adhere to anything. Also, yes, Kane, today's stream went on, well, we started with a philosopher question and now we're on the topic of religion. So, eh. I deselect, select. I don't know the color of this thing yet. But besides, of course, the religious aspect of religion, I mean, for a lot of people, it's kind of like their safe haven, a sense of community and such. So, even though I don't really believe in any religion, I still see a lot of like the benefits for other people. Nah. We need an option to save a color palette. Yeah. That's the somewhat of a thing. Yeah. It's also sometimes really difficult to find like the hitbox of some pieces. Because if I like switch over to any other builds or any other map, I like you don't get like the color palette that you just used in that particular map. One second. Yep. Yep. Religion is just a way to play on our fears of death to get you to behave how the people in charge want you to behave. Yep, also somewhat true. But again, for a lot of people, it provides like this sense of community and such. Which, yeah, there's a lot of bad things, but for a lot of people, it's also like a good thing. But you will always have those things about, well, any group where give a person enough power and eventually they will, well, in a way become corrupt. How did it actually start to have like philosophical or historical things on the stream? Like, I don't know which topic started it again anymore. And I don't mean this stream, because this stream started with what would the world be like if women instead of men were like the hunters, where the society was more matriarchy started. But yeah. Religious settlements in the US lasted generally longer than non-religious ones. I don't know enough about that to really say anything about it, but it is an interesting thing to look into. Also, another thing, I think it's sometimes just good to say I don't know enough about that, instead of trying like to like in a way not shoehorn your opinion into something, but you know, I don't know really how I wanted to go about that, but yeah, sometimes it's just good to say I don't know enough about that. So what I do know enough about is that I like this gatehouse so far. I can say that. It's a way of control. Yeah, but then a lot of like institutions have like a way of controlling people. Religions define group identity. It's easier to fight for with people believing in the same thing as yourself and othering others by their religion. Yeah. I mean, we had the Crusades to show that. I mean, actually, it's still happening today, where we're talking about other religions as the others. It's like the great evil. I mean, there's an orange, what was it called? Cheeto, on the other side of the world who still believes in such things. As long as you don't touch the people who are in control of most of the oil. In his case, though. He's very friendly to the people who control the oil. I was scared at how light it was while it was loading in. Alright, so it's should be somewhere like there. And you have a flanking tower, so I also think that I used the wrong color, I think. Yep. Alright. The fun thing is that monotheistic religions are so related. I mean, the three major ones all have the same roots. Didn't stop us from killing each other, though. I'm just going to delete literally everything that isn't that piece. Because that's going to be a lot faster than trying to deselect everything. So a major tip for you guys, check if the color palette you're using is actually the correct one, so that you don't have to do this. So, but if everything goes right, I should be able to just multi-select everything afterwards and just go wild. But yeah, that's another point, of course. Religion for quite a few people still is like a major part of like their identity. So there are a lot of like negatives, of course, about religion, but there are still also a lot of positives. Now I should be able to select, yep. Now I have to look. I don't know if, oh, well. Yeah, I've literally been playing Planet Zoo the entire day today, Kayan. But that's also because I want to finish this phase of Kayan al-Bashar this or next week. So if I want to finish it, then I need to work on it. But Kayan, is She-Dog still chasing squirrels every time she goes outside? Or has that stopped by now? Also, I still want to say, I every morning still see the Dutch version of She-Dog. I want to take a photo of the dog that I see every morning, but I don't know if the owners would like that. But I also think that that dog by now has a concussion or something. Because again, every time I see the dog, he basically sprints towards the door, probably slips or something, and just goes head first into the door. With a massive bang. So now the castle makes a little bit more sense. Because previously it didn't really. I don't have to worry about the plants there. Well, there's a tree that's inside of the castle. Squirrels can be smarter than you think. We know how to avoid danger. Well, most of the time. Oh, I forgot a very important thing. The portcullis, because of course otherwise it's just not really functional. I really miss the portcullis that we got with Planet Coaster. Although I understand, of course, because, you know, I don't think you will find that many medieval style zoos. Then just black. You want the soldiers to not really be able to hide in the actual portcullis here. So. I was actually... This is a thing that's... Well, I think I've said it before already, but I rarely watch any other Planet Zoo. So I have no idea if there are others really who are making like a historical... Well, historical zoo, but like something like medieval or Renaissance type-y looking. Yes, I just called it type-y because... Why not? I want that window. Then lower it. Because, not to bash anyone, but it seems that everybody has like a, let's just say, more modern style zoo that they're working on. Oops, that's not it. Now it functions as an actual castle with well, not everything. Isn't there a guy building Lord of the Rings? I think you're talking about Wix. I don't know. I know that he's building something from Lord of the Rings or has a Lord of the Rings style zoo. I haven't lately watched any of his videos, so I don't know if he's still like working on it, or I mean, he could potentially have scrapped the project. That's literally how long I sadly haven't watched his videos. Really happy with that. Alright, so the general layout of the castle is now this. I need to build a gatehouse here. I need to build a gatehouse here and there. So I only have 3 gatehouses left. How did I do this gatehouse? Because this was Arabian style. I wanted to start like a Dark Elves underground zoo. I don't know if Plant Zoo does underground very well. But the lighting wasn't that easy. Yep. And all decorative marble pieces are not recolorable. Yeah. If you want to use marble, sadly it will have to be white. And actually we don't have any marble. It really works. But I just need to turn it around so that the window is this side. I want just a huge chain in between this. I actually want that basically in between every island. The palace actually really takes up a lot of islands. Because it takes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Did I count that right? Don't think so. Perhaps. It's sad that the draw distance isn't the best. Because all these domes disappear once you go too far. Really wondering how many PCs this is going to melt. Because I mean, forget that floating bit there, but it isn't that bad. By now I've literally no idea how many building parts the Hagia Sophia is. It's also not completely accurate, is what I found out. But I'm not going to rebuild it again. Thank you, AppDocset, for following. I need grays, blacks and purples and building underground and turning it into nights. Good idea, but didn't work as well as I thought. Yeah. I mean, when it comes to lighting, sometimes Plant Zoo is a little bit wonky. It's a... well, flashlight isn't the best. Because it only works when you're really close to some things. But yeah, everything beneath the palace is terraformed. I just need to turn the shadows off if I want to build something there. But now I need to build another gatehouse, otherwise I will just talk and not really do anything. But I'm going to grab a wall piece. Yes, it's on a grid. And I think it's 6 meters. So this one can be a bit bigger, because this is one of the main entrances into the palace or castle. This was asked in a previous stream, but yeah, this is as much as like planning that I do. There's not much to go beyond this. Just figuring out how it's going to look. I want this one to be actually quite tall. Just so that it really seems like just this big wall in between the palace and everything around it. And then, because this directly goes into... So, just that, so that I know where the drawbridge has to go, or until how far. So, oh wait, it's easier to build it with the sun. Let's just make it a little bit brighter. That's something I usually forget to do. Make the place a little bit brighter so that I can actually see. Actually, the only thing I want to avoid is making it into a face. Now we have two smaller flanking towers. Of course. Do I need to make it a thing of 8? Guess so. I really turn every castle into like an impregnable fortress. Which I like. Now using the right color. Actually, I'm just going to quickly look something up. Byzantine Tower. Ah. Alright. Kinda plain. So where I always build matriculations, Byzantine towers usually don't have those. So but I'm still going to use this trick of having pillars on the sides of buildings. Because again, they work really well to get a building detailed without having to make it really bulky. I still have a wall piece selected somewhere. Oh, I didn't. I was just blind. So sorry guys, I'm really in concentration field right now because I actually don't really know why. This isn't really, in a way, for me at least, this isn't really difficult stuff to work on. But I just want to get it completely right. And because this is probably so far one of the biggest gatehouses. Talk about your favorite gods. Favorite gods. There are all kind of assholes. And let's just say least favorite god, Zeus. Because yeah, he basically screwed everything with a pulse. Favorite gods. It's really a difficult one. Hades? Like I've been watching a lot of what's the name again? Again, I'm awful with names. But a lot of like this sarcastic productions. Basically they talk a lot about like history and mythology. In well, of course, sarcastic way, or just funny way for me, which again, humor and history and mythology go great together. So if there's any future history teacher watching, take notes. But yeah, Hades didn't screw you over unless you screwed with him. So I think, even though he's the god of death and the underworld, well, it's not really the god of death, he's just the god of the underworld, I think. But unless you screwed him over, he wouldn't just screw you just for the sake of it. And according to that video, Cerberus, the three-headed dog of the underworld, well, according to some, if you translate it into modern day English, Cerberus means spot. So this guy got his dog, who is a three-headed demon dog, Spot. So yeah, I really like those channels where they like have history, but also presented in a more fun way than just read a book. Guys, I'm going to make a covered version and an uncovered version, or basically one with a roof and one without. And then you guys have to tell me which one you like better. Because I have no idea which one I'm going to like better. Again, this is how a lot of buildings in Kayan al-Bashar are made. Spot is a good name for any doggo. True. But you don't expect it for like a three-headed dog of hell. Like when I think of like a three-headed dog of hell, I think of like Soul Eater or anything that just sounds deadly. And then you find out, oh, Spot. But again, I think favorite god is Hades or maybe there was another one. No, Poseidon also screwed around with basically everything with a pulse. Perhaps Artemis. Now that I think about it, I'm literally picking gods who are either just don't really screw around, or are like, you know, the virgin goddesses. Although I think Hera is annoying. But is there any other gods? I'm literally now naming like a top 3 or something, even though the question was only what's your favorite, but Yeah, Cerberus in itself, that sounds very like it's something that's going to kill you. Which I don't actually think in any like myths that Cerberus actually kills someone. But then again, who really wants to start a fight with a three-headed demon dog that spits fire, probably? Because anything from hell just spits fire. Would that then also burn away like any, like, what is it called? Like, would they need to brush their teeth then if they spit fire? I'm asking the important questions. Would you need to brush your teeth if you spit fire? Or do you just burn away anything bad that would be in your mouth then? Important life questions. So I want to add something in the middle here as well, but I don't think I have the space for it. Let's see. Nah, I don't have the space for it, so it will be just these corner things. Which isn't bad. Also, yes, I call them corner things because I forgot the name. That's standard with me. If I call something a thing, then it's because I forgot the name for it. I also realized that this is going to look very different from all the other things. But I think I'm going to do like meticulations on top. Like in this, well, probably further on, because if these towers get taken, then you can still like shoot arrows directly down. Cerberus is a guard dog, not an attack dog. He doesn't have to kill, just have to look like he will kill. Also, when it comes to angry dogs, yeah, going to readjust my sitting position. But yeah, I always just think that dog just needs a belly rub. You can. Also, now that I think about it, so I'm not a great fan of Norse mythology, or at least I'm just not really that interested in it. But there is now that I think about it, somewhat interesting similarity where, like, the things associated with evil is also a dog. Although there's Fenrir and he's supposed to eat Odin, I think. Or, I don't know, Woozi's supposed to kill in Ragnarok, but someone. Although, the sad thing is, he is not three-headed, so minus points for that. But yeah, if you want to know the inspiration of that three-headed dog of Harry Potter, I think it's going to storm. Or it was a truck that drove by. Either way, not fun. And let's do it like that. This is very extended. But besides Greek mythology, I don't really am interested in any mythologies actually. I think the second on the list is like Egyptian. But besides that, it's like meh. Let's do this, but then make it extend a little bit. But guys, I've now spoken about my favorite gods. But well, I actually haven't given you the third one, I think, because I started talking about Cerberus. But what are your guys' favorite gods, goddesses, or other mythological beings? Just curious. So a place for the soldiers to stand on, because otherwise well, then this doesn't make any sense if there wouldn't be. So but in the meantime, I'm just trying to figure this out. Like, is this too bulky or not? I mean, it's, I think, extended way too far. This needs to be brought back a little bit. So now it makes sense. Although now I have to delete this. Still think it's a little bit too bulky. That's better. Now to place these all over the wall. That was the wrong slider. I don't know all the cards as well that I could really pick one. Alright. So. After Tinopolis, I never really thought that I would build so many castles. But then I also didn't think that Kayan al-Bashar would last this long. To be completely honest. I thought with all the habitats and such that I would go through this much quicker, but well, that didn't go as planned. obviously. Great. Not that one, that one. One of my earbuds is slipping again. Either I have just way too large ears, or my earbuds are just way too small. Let's go with the latter one. Just so that I don't feel like Dumbo. God of War, the goddess of hunting, and the goddess of chaos. Yeah, I think I can pretty accurately guess your moods. Ah, I only had 3 of these. Alright, so... Boop. Oh, that's why I didn't pick up those other 2. God of death, not fearing destructional, but just death. That makes me think of like Thanatos. Not pronouncing that right, of course, because, I mean, you guys know me, I don't pronounce anything right. But Thanatos is the Greek god or personification of death. Not really the most liked character, but he basically does his job bringing the souls of the dead to the afterlife, and that's it. Doesn't really have that much going for him. Although it's fun to like the Grim Reaper, I for a long time thought like, oh, it's probably like somewhat made up with like Thanatos in mind. Nope, Kronos, which is the god of time, with like the psyche and such. Well, there might be some parts of Thanatos in the Grim Reaper. But again, I do hope that your mood will improve over the course of the stream. Not that the stream is going to be the reason of that, but I don't know, maybe She-Dog does like a nice little trick. I don't know. I don't... Does She-Dog actually know any tricks, Kane? I've never actually asked that. All the gates so far have been a little bit more rounded. But also, nice question, because I usually like to talk about history and such, and I mean, I already mentioned I'm just going to say sarcastic productions. But are there any like history related channels on like YouTube that you guys watch? Everything else is just beneath her, Kayan. Now I'm just relating her more and more to the actual like Queen of Sheba. Also of that cat of like the Sheba commercials. Or she, yeah, the brand is Sheba, right? Which she might be happy about or not, probably not, but I didn't do those things completely great. I also said I was going to do a covered version of that one, but then I got distracted with matriculations and arches. Also, what am I moving? The fancy cat foods. But when Kayan al-Bashar goes live, I really just want to issue like Janice, find anything that's not rounded, or like pan your camera anywhere and find something, or find a location where nothing is rounded with the Hagia Sophia, because it just domes on domes on domes on domes and more domes. I was almost thinking I was going to get a crash. What happened to this tower? Back in line. You're not special. You don't get floating bits. When Kayan al-Bashar goes live? No, this isn't pre-recorded. With when it goes live, I mean when I put it on the workshop. It would be a thing if this was pre-recorded. But I should probably stop talking about the Hagia Sophia, because the more I talk about it, the more I just want to show it to you guys what I've done, and well, you can find it on the Discord, so if you want to know more about Kayan al-Bashar, I usually can't contain myself, and then I will put pictures on the Discord. I still need to type out like the official lore of Kayan al-Bashar, because I'm a lore whore. That doesn't sound right, but yeah, everything has a backstory. I mean, I could literally probably ask you guys to find like a backstory or a name for like a gate. because it wouldn't be too strange of me to name every building in Kayan al-Bashar. That would be pretty normal. How late is it actually? Oh. Well, luckily today we are probably streaming until 11. Or maybe even 12. But that depends on like at what point do I become tired. But this is a good show of like how long a build usually takes. Cause that's really just a thing with YouTube. Like everything looks a lot easier when it's sped up like insane amounts. Yeah, on the Discord there's still this empty part where I wanted to have like the official lore of Kayan al-Bashar, and then I just forgot to put it because right after I got stuff with college. So I'm going to hopefully do that before Kayan al-Bashar goes live. No, Kane, the backstory will probably be like 2 pages long because I can. I mean, again, like it's somewhat summer holidays for me, so I now have all the time in the world to make up like a backstory. Gates. I really miss city walls and such. Hey, Lofro Belloc. Hope you're having a good day, because I don't know if it's day, night, or anything in between where you live. So... it's the bear habitat that's next to it, Chris. All of these structure thingies are pointed, or at least all like Byzantine architecture styles, it's always pointed, so this also has to have points instead of like a rounded edge to it. So let's do that. The Bill Gate. I think one of those tiny gates can be named the Bill Gate. Is it centered? No. There. I mean, it wouldn't be the weirdest name in Kayan al-Bashar. I can literally make up like a backstory of like a knight or so named Bill. Well, probably not Bill, but something that could be shortened into Bill. Because a lot of names over the years change. I mean, how many names has Paris gotten through before it's became Paris? I can tell you a lot. This is just a really large hole to fill. I don't know if what I'm doing is something that I want to keep. Then this would be the most hated gate in Kayan al-Bashar. Now it makes me think of like execution gates. Don't ask me why. Now I like this around this bit. Took a long time for me to start liking it. So autosave, of course. Can I use one of these things? Oh, fuck. It's great when the camera does nothing that you wanted. So making sure that I'm going to drink a little bit of water, so I'm going to mute myself because again it sounds like I'm trying to drink the entire ocean. So a little bit of marble isn't going to hurt anyone. I mean, if it's Billgate, then it should probably look a little bit more fancy. So now we have the Billgate. I mean, to be fair, it is, if I'm correct. Nah, it's not centered, not aligned. Hey. Although I should probably already knew that. By the way, it's disregard anything you hear now. But I already mentioned I don't like it when things aren't perfectly aligned. A lot of things I have to redo just because they're not perfectly aligned. So delete those things, making sure that nothing is on a different angle. Yep, look good. Never mind. Though I don't have the patience to really do anything about that. So I'm just going to drag this to this. That's the thing though with buildings, like the longer I build on them, the less patience I have for them. And I've also been sitting on my foot, so yeah, the feeling in one of my feet is gone because I've basically just been sitting on it the whole time. Which is fun. Not. So that you don't fall to your death, or are just more likely to fall to your death. Not fancy gatey. I mean, this doesn't look like the gate you want to storm. So that's a good thing. Mm-hmm. I actually need to look up if this time the bot on Discord did actually work. And it did notify people that I was live. Because the Discord bot doesn't like me. I hope it works when a video goes live or goes up. So I know I shouldn't think like this, but there's someone in history that has fallen through these things to their death. There has to be. Whoa, it's still really loud, and thank you, Young Duggar, for subscribing. Didn't really think that that would happen. But also, of course, hope you have a lovely day. I'm just sitting here building gates. I mean, I could build these things perhaps in Minecraft, but nah. Have a nice night then, AC. And hope to see you. Well, for the live stream, it's probably Friday. For video, it should be there tomorrow. Should be. Don't know for sure though. Whoa. Alright, since I don't need those anymore. Have a nice lunch then, Kayan. Are you all just suddenly going to leave me? Again, Kayan, if you're leaving, make sure to give She-Dog a few... I don't know if belly scratches she would like, but, you know, give her a snack. Just in my name. Yeah, this is a large gate. Actually, I think I can use this gate twice. Because this one also is supposed to have a drawbridge. And if I place it correctly, I don't need to destroy the insides. Yay! I need to change the towers though. That's just going to be like a just stand in, just so that we know what's somewhat going to be there. I'm getting a little bit tired. I was supposed to do something. Let's first change it back so that everything is aligned with the grid thingy. Oh yeah, I wanted to put some cover on this thing. Just to see how it would look. Also, just an easy way to spot if I finished the building or not. Look for the mud brick pillars. If they're still there, then the building isn't finished. If they are not, then the building is most likely finished. Or in some state of being finished. Let's do this. Don't want that lower piece. Yay. Kayan is going to give Shiva or She-Dog a treat. Hopefully. Or he's lying. Nothing that's lower than that, so. What do you guys think? With or without the roof? Although we could have one of them, so for like announcements and such. And then the other one isn't covered. Yeah, I think that works. I'm literally asking you guys and then I'm making the decision myself. Well, that's just how things go here. So. Or actually, let's lower that a little bit, but then make it higher here. Width. I think what I'm going to do this. Then move this here. The water bottle is in the way. Then put one of these in there. Big roundy bits. That's not big enough. It can be bigger. And get a small stick. I really want just a non-climbable version of this one. Chris, I think you might know or might have an idea of what I'm going for here. Nope, not that. In the middle. So. And I think it's in general. Yep. Just putting some fake bricks on it. But then for the actual thing, I need to Mm-hmm. A little bit location specific, but I like it when there's a little bit more of a dynamic feel to a building. Yeah, I think I'm going to actually end the stream pretty quickly because I'm also getting tired. Like I said, I wanted to go till like 11 o'clock, but I do already see like the quality of what I'm building decreasing, so I will probably also like stop after finishing this. What's the name of a thing like this? Like I should probably know the name of things like this, but I don't. But have a good night, Chris. The last thing that I need to do. Maybe the next time I shouldn't sleep for 4 hours. Maybe I should try to sleep for at least 6 before I try to make it till 11. Only an idea. That's not the right. Well, I actually don't. Can I use this one if I make it all white? Oh, yeah. It looks like leather. Why does it look like leather? Also, anybody who's looking for leather, that carpet looks like leather if you dye it. Let's make it white. Still looks like leather. Bye bye, Chris. Yeah, I'm also going to end it here, so Hope everybody has a good night. Sadly, I'm not going to be able to make it to 11 because I'm almost falling asleep. But I mean, we finished that and we did this and we had some philosophical talk. Another reason why I should probably end it here. So, hope all of you guys have a nice night and bye bye.